Tonight is the city of Ottawa about to put the brakes on photo radar.
They're good in front of the schools because it is a safety concern.
Reaction to the Premier's warning about taking the cameras down, even as recent signs all over the city have promised speed cameras coming soon. Could a pay raise be on the way for city councillors?
I certainly think it's worth looking at, but the timing is not optimal.
A proposal to make sure pay stays in line with what elected officials are making in other major cities. And imagine coming home to this. It's the dream that could be yours.
Really exciting day for all of us at the foundation. It's a day we've had circled on our calendars for a long time.
When you support the families at CHEO,
we're so thankful for all of those donor dollars that come through and have allowed us to be able to enjoy our lives now as a family.
Wanting nothing more than healthy kids at home together. Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news out of the U.S., where the latest act of political violence has turned fatal. Charlie Kirk, a high-profile conservative activist, is dead after he was shot at an event this afternoon. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with the latest developments. Steph.
Patricia, Kirk was an avid supporter of U.S. President Donald Trump, and tonight his killing is drawing condemnation from both Democratic and Republican lawmakers. Kirk was speaking at a university in Utah when a single shot rang out. He was struck in the neck and later pronounced dead in hospital. The U.S. president, one of the first, if not the first, to break the news on social media. The search for the suspect is still underway this hour. One person was taken into custody, but we have since learned that person is not a suspect. Witnesses who are at the event are starting publicly to describe what happened, and we want to warn you, some of the details are disturbing.
You just hear the gunshot and I'm sorry, you just see his neck just open up and there's just so much blood that just came out. It was horrible. And all I felt was everybody bringing me down to the ground. And I was, sorry.
Take your time,
all I hear is screaming and I see people running and I'm like, it's not safe to run. It's not safe to get up. It's not.
All of a sudden, in a second later, I heard a gunshot and everybody started running in a mob through the doors and it was scary.
Now, Kirk is less familiar on this side of the border, but he is widely recognized for his role in right-wing politics in the United States. He's the co-founder of a conservative youth organization. Trump has previously praised him and said he was a critical part in his gains among young voters in last year's election. And some have even credited him for being the driving force behind getting J.D. Vance considered for VP. In a post on Truth Social, President Trump writing, quote, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me. And now he is no longer with us." Former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi also posting the horrific shooting today at Utah Valley University is reprehensible. Political violence has absolutely no place in our nation. And here in Canada, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre writing on social media, "We must all strongly denounce the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Political violence is never justified. The attacker must be brought to justice and free speech must be upheld." At last check, no statements from the Prime Minister yet, who is in Edmonton for a National Caucus meeting right now. But south of the border, the deadly violence is being condemned by all political stripes. American politics have been extremely volatile. This is just the latest in a string of attacks against politicians. Trump himself was shot during last year's election campaign. Melissa Hortman, the Democratic leader in the Minnesota State House, was shot and killed in her home earlier in the summer. And in 2022, Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked with a hammer in their home. Patricia.
CTV's Stephen Keys live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, there are questions tonight about whether the city's photo radar camera program could soon come to an end. The Premier says it's time for municipalities to get rid of all speed cameras, and his comments are flashing up a real debate about whether the cameras make roads safer or whether they are a cash grab. CTV's Tyler Fleming joins us live in studio with more on this. Tyler.
Yeah, Patricia, love them or hate them, there is evidence that speed cameras work. But are people actually slowing down overall, or just in front of the cameras? I used a radar gun to find out. In Riverside South, Valerie Vassbinder says this speed camera makes a difference.
As a mom of two that grew up with the kids going to school here, people aren't pulling, 60, 70 miles down the straightaway in front of the schools as little kids are trying to cross.
For Vassbinder, it's a must in front of schools.
It is a safety concern.
Others agree.
They do work. I've seen it.
But some side with Premier Ford, who's dead against them and wants the cameras removed.
This is nothing but a tax grab.
They're giving out too many tickets nowadays.
The city's 60 automated cameras generate millions of dollars in revenue.
I got a $70 ticket for going 9 over. It's crazy.
Cameras cost a lot less than police officers.
Ottawa's mayor says he's open to working with the province on the photo radar program, but combating speeding is a top priority.
And we need to do everything we can to keep that under control.
Do speed cameras work? Yes, for the most part, and city data shows this. But here's the issue. They're slowing down in front of the camera. On this stretch of Spratt Road, there's only one camera for 3 schools.
So you'll watch the cars speed all the way across, get to the stop sign, do their 40 in front of Steve McLean, and then speed back up until they hit the next stop.
And my radar gun proved it. Not far from, but outside the camera's view, many drove over the 40-kilometer-per-hour limit. The same for Bronson Avenue and on Riverside Drive 2. These days, even smartphone maps can send warnings. So, to sum up today's snapshot of opinions,
a little tax grab, a little a safety thing.
If you want to speed and risk your life and others people's life, then you have to pay the price for it.
Now, the city is planning to install 24 more speed cameras by the end of the year, but the province says it has plans to get rid of the cameras when the House returns in the fall if municipalities don't. Patricia.
An interesting one for sure. CTV's Tyler Fleming live for us tonight with the gun. Thank you so much. When a new council term gets underway in November 2026, one Ottawa councillor hopes he and his colleagues will be earning more. Today at City Hall, a motion approved that would help keep councillors' salaries here in line with what other big city elected officials are making. CTV's Dylan Dyson was at City Hall today and joins us with more on this. Dylan.
Patricia, last year, Ottawa City councillors earned more than $119,000. And with this motion looking to raise salaries for next year, it's apparent some councillors believe they are being underpaid for the work they're putting in.
Thank you. Is that carried?
I'm dissenting.
Dissent.
Dissent. Ottawa City councillors deal in numbers all day long. This time, it's personal.
It takes it out of political hands and uses objective, hard data.
Sean Menard calling for the salaries of Ottawa's councillors and mayor to be brought up in line with the average remuneration of other Canadian municipalities.
Objective, hard data based on average remuneration for councillors in Ontario, being the second largest city, looking at that data to make sure it's a fair process into next term.
In 2024, Ottawa City councillors earned $119,654, while the mayor earned $213,689. Elected officials also saw a 2.5% bump for 2025.
More than what they should be paid, but I don't know how much. But from what I hear, they're paid enough.
No dollar figure has been attached to this pay raise, which, if approved, would take effect in November at the start of the next council term. An analysis of Ottawa's elected officials' salaries by a third party last fall found that the pay for Ottawa's mayor and councillors is already comparable with other Canadian cities, though in Toronto, a significant hike was approved this spring.
The report previously found that we were right there on the median, and I think that's great. I think the issue is, as those things get adjusted, what's the process to adjust those rates for people?
This taking place the same day that council imposed a hiring freeze on full-time employees.
I just feel the timing, while we see many of our federal partners being laid off, obviously there's concern across the entire city, across the country about where we're headed right now. I certainly think it's worth looking at, but the timing is not optimal.
In July, CTV News reported that councillors were considering a pay increase of $18,000 for elected officials, but no formal motion was ever introduced.
I think if you did the math on how many hours councillors put into their work, they're terribly underpaid. I don't think there's any question about that, but I don't think this job was ever set up to be where you're going to earn fair compensation compared to other jobs in the private sector.
No, definitely not. Why are they entitled to a raise when just about every other working person isn't getting raises? So, especially what they're talking about.
And how significant was that hike in Toronto? In March, councillors there voted to raise their salaries by 24% to $170,000. The Ford government also unfroze MPP salaries last spring, which saw them get a boost of $41,000 to $157,000 annually. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the possible future pay raise for city councillors and the mayor.
Still ahead, time to start dreaming about living big in Manotick. The CHEO Dream of a Lifetime launch, the house, the many other prizes, and the incredible cause. That story coming up.
Well, here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. A beautiful evening out there in Ottawa, quite warm for this time in September as we get a first look at the forecast and a first look at City Folk, which is getting underway at Lansdowne tonight. And looks like a lot of people knew about that, Jackie.
Yeah, lots of people here. Gates opened at 5 o'clock, Patricia, and it's a gorgeous night to enjoy some live music out here at the Great Lawn at Lansdowne. Now, temperatures right now, a comfortable 23 degrees here. Really around the region, it's sitting around 23, 22 degrees. A little cooler in Kingston, but for most of Eastern Ontario, the sun really shining down, and we're going to be spoiled with that for the next few days. For this evening, though, later tonight when Alex Warren hits the stage, temperatures will be far from the ordinary. 18 degrees is what we're expecting. May want a light jacket as you head out because things are going to start to cool off. Tomorrow, 12 degrees is what we're going to start the day off with, getting to a daytime high about 23, 24 degrees. So nothing to report other than some gorgeous weather for 4 days of what will be wonderful music out here on the Great Lawn. We'll have these details and more in just a bit.
We have more breaking news now out of Toronto. Multiple children are injured after a car crashed into a daycare. This happened around 3 p.m. this afternoon at a daycare in Richmond Hill in the GTA. One child suffered life-threatening injuries and another was seriously injured. 8 other children were also hurt. The extent of their injuries is not known at this time. Video from the scene shows a large hole in the window of the daycare. It's not yet clear what led to the crash. We will bring you updates as they become available. Well, an Eastern Ontario family thought they were building a dream backyard. Instead, they say they lost tens of thousands of dollars, and they're not alone. CTV News has uncovered a troubling pattern of work allegedly being done shoddily and without the proper permits. At the center of it, Ontario's lack of licensing for general contractors, leaving families vulnerable. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live now with more. Caitlin.
Patricia, in Ontario, general contractors don't need a license, which means anyone can take on major projects. And when renovations go wrong, homeowners are left with little recourse beyond costly lawsuits. And for one Ottawa family, along with several others, it turned a dream project into a nightmare.
This is the hot tub here, some seating. This is the lovely fireplace.
A dream backyard in Beckwith Township, supposed to take just months to build. But more than a year later, it's still unfinished.
There are so many problems. Every time we look, we find a new problem that we didn't identify before.
Kevin Varley and his wife hired Timbercraft Summer Structures last June, owned by Kirk Sturgeon. While he stands behind that company, today he promotes a different one, Timbercraft Leisure Living. Records show it was set up this year. He also operates another renovation company, Castlecore.
That's just going to keep getting worse and worse, right?
The Varleys were quoted $240,000 with work scheduled to begin August 1st pending a permit. But several months into the project, they learned there was no permit and the township ordered the work to stop.
At that point in time, it became very concerning. And then we started to find out that one of the reasons he didn't have a permit was he had not paid his subtrades,
which Sturgeon denies. And when the permit was finally issued, what was built didn't match the plans. Contractor Ryan Branton, who's worked in the industry for nearly 2 decades, walked us through the problems.
I really don't think that they should be walking on this. Look at this hangar here and look at this. This is a beam that goes across. It was supposed to be in the hangar. It's not in the hangar. I get that it's supported, but the plans are calling for it to be in a hangar.
Eventually, the Varleys say they walked away in June after more delays. By then, they had paid $96,000, and what had been built later failed inspection. But Sturgeon says that's because the project wasn't yet finished.
In my opinion, it needs to come down and start over. There's so much wrong here. I do agree with the city inspector that this is just, it needs to be shut down.
And the Varleys aren't alone. CTV News spoke with 3 other families with similar stories. Work started without permits, subcontractors allegedly unpaid, and projects allegedly not built properly.
This is what the Varleys thought they were going to get, or something similar to it. But even with this, looks can be deceiving.
In Ottawa, another couple say they paid Sturgeon about $180,000 for a 4-season sunroom. They didn't want to appear on camera, but let Branton show us the issues and why they walked away.
Again, with this property, they started the construction before the permit was done. They wanted to build kind of removable panels, and I got to tell you, this panel is just not going to work. Look at, this is the idea here, right? They wanted to put, this is the feet that was holding up the panel. This just isn't going to work. The problem is this is not supported.
CTV News spoke with Sturgeon on the phone and by email. He denies the allegations, saying everything was built properly and it creates a false impression to judge a project before it's finished. While he admits to starting projects without permits, he blames the municipalities for taking too long. Writing in an email, "I understand you have a commitment to wash out dishonest or corrupt contractors in the industry, but that's not me." And with no licensing system for general contractors in Ontario, Branton says there's little oversight. While some cities like Toronto require licenses, others, including Ottawa, do not.
We really need to start licensing contractors. I don't want to put another tax on contractors. I get it, right? But at the same time, it's really the wild, wild west out there, and anything goes.
Leaving families like the Varleys with little recourse other than to start over.
We feel victimized, ripped off, angry. There's no accountability.
And we reached out to the township of Beckwith and the city of Ottawa. Beckwith hasn't responded, but Ottawa says permits for larger projects can take up to 20 days on average. And Building Code Services receives 400 to 500 complaints each year about unpermitted work. As for licensing contractors, any decision would have to go before City Council in the future. CTV News also spoke with another homeowner currently pursuing legal action, although they did not want to appear on camera. Patricia?
All right, CTV's Caitlin Wilson reporting live for us tonight, and we will speak one-on-one with the expert quoted in your story a little later in the show. Well, 9 people are displaced after an overnight fire in Lower Town. Multiple people called 911 just after midnight reporting a fire in a semi-detached duplex on Geek Avenue between Cumberland Street and King Edward. When crews arrived on scene, they discovered flames on the side of the building and extending all the way up to the roof. Additional resources were brought in to help battle the flames. There's extensive damage inside of the house. Thankfully, no one was injured.
Prize in the CHEO Dream of a Lifetime lottery.
A beautiful 5,400 square
Ontario Provincial Police are investigating an armed robbery in Arnprior. It happened overnight at a convenience store on Madawaska Street. Police say a man entered the store brandishing a knife and demanded cash. No one was injured. OPP are now looking for the suspect. He's described as 5'10" and around 150 pounds. He was wearing a black and gray hoodie, a ball cap, and a blue face mask. Well, we're getting a first look tonight inside the Minto Dream Home, the grand prize in the CHEO Dream of a Lifetime lottery, which helps raise money for vital research and care at the Children's Hospital. This year's home is located in Manotick, in Minto's Mahogany development on Skysail Place. CTV's Dave Charbonneau takes a look.
Really exciting day for all of us at the foundation. It's a day we've had circled on our calendars for a long time.
This is the 2025 Minto Dream Home in Manotick. the $3.7 million grand prize in the CHEO Dream of a Lifetime lottery.
A beautiful 5,400 square foot home that's going to be the source for so much good in our community as people help us with the Dream of a Lifetime lottery this year.
Features include high ceilings, 4 bedrooms, including 1 on the main floor, 4.5 bathrooms, 2 laundry rooms, and a 3-car garage fully equipped with tools and a wheelchair lift. The O'Reilly family was at this launch to offer support to CHEO. Daughter Blakelyn was born with a heart defect.
We're so thankful for all of those donor dollars that come through and have allowed us to be able to enjoy our lives now as a family and have Blakelyn's health.
Thank you again for being here. And CTV's Austin Lee hosted today's Dream Home launch event. At $5.2 million, this is the largest CHEO Dream of a Lifetime lottery in its history. Other prizes include $100,000 in cash and a Mercedes-Benz SUV. Public tours start today. The design inspired by New York City.
Where some of the most iconic Art Deco architecture is, the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and we're really seeing creatives kind of take inspiration from that, especially in boutique hotels and luxury retail spaces.
The basement has a home gym, lounge area with a bar, and even a home theater room with a massive modular sectional sofa. Since this lottery started 30 years ago, $110 million has been raised for CHEO. Minto has been involved in the lottery for 25 years.
Whether it's internal employees or trades that work with us day to day, they're always looking for the opportunity to be involved in this home and deliver it.
Tickets for this year's lottery are now on sale. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Well, just beautiful, and still to come, dream homes on a smaller scale. The new Releve building opens in downtown Ottawa. What makes this place stand out? Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Tavari Anthony is on the stage right now, first act of tonight. But these folks are here. Who are you here to see tonight?
Alex Warren!
And Autumn, what is it about Alex Warren that you're excited to see?
I've loved him since One More I Love You. He is so honest about his family and life. I just love him.
Okay, well, enjoy tonight. I know you have some great seats. Gorgeous night here at Lansdowne. Here's a live look. There's a Centennial Glass Sky Cam that gives you a broad overview of just how gorgeous the sun is shining down along the Great Lawn. It is 23 degrees. We will have more on your weather forecast after the break.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. A new luxury apartment building has just opened up in the downtown core with state-of-the-art amenities, and the hope is it will help revitalize an area hit hard by the pandemic. Releve is made up of 2 luxury apartment towers located at 400 Albert Street. CTV's Kimberly Fowler takes us for a look inside.
We wanted to bring a building that would bring people back downtown.
Ottawa's Rick Eifeles is part of the ownership group opening up Releve, a new luxury apartment building in downtown Ottawa. 2 towers at the corner of Albert and Lyon Street, breathing new life into the neighborhood that has struggled to bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic.
This building is one of the first buildings to come here, and we're trying to make it fun and where people want to live here and come back to work downtown.
The goal is to tailor the apartments to the needs of anyone living and working in the downtown core, with a grocery store right across the street and an LRT station nearby. The property on Albert Street includes 2 towers, a 29-story building and a 23-story building with upscale amenities, including a state-of-the-art gym facility, a yoga studio, and golf simulator. There's also an entertainment zone with a pool table and karaoke machine, a catering kitchen, meeting and dining room, and a space for those working remotely.
We have an open communal workspace. For people that are working from home and perhaps in a smaller unit, it allows an individual to go down, take a meeting from there, and really lock down in that space.
There's also an outdoor swimming pool, lounge area, and communal barbecue stations. The Ottawa Board of Trade expects the new apartments to provide a boost to the city's downtown core.
Well, it's great news for the downtown because it means that the downtown won't shut down at 5 o'clock when, office workers go home. There will be people living here. There will be people going to the new grocery store, to the Food Basic right across the way. And they'll be enjoying downtown. They're going to increase foot traffic. They're going to patronize local businesses.
Studio apartments, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom unit. Studio apartments and 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units cost between $1,900 and $3,300 a month. Kimberly Fowler, CTV News.
We have breaking news out of Toronto. A toddler has now died after a car crashed into a daycare. This crash happened this afternoon at a daycare in Richmond Hill in the GTA. In an update just moments ago, police confirming one child, around 18 months old, has died. Another was seriously injured, and 5 others were also hurt. The driver, a 70-year-old man, was arrested at the scene. It's still not clear what led to the crash. Well, the summer-like weather returned to the capital today. The temperature is warming up to the mid-20s this afternoon. The sun shining all day long. There was even a little bit of humidity this afternoon. Just a beautiful day along the trail to Princess Louise Falls in Orleans. And an absolutely beautiful evening out at City Folk at Lansdowne as it gets underway tonight, and a good crowd enjoying that weather behind you, Jackie.
Yeah, that's right, Patricia. We've got a decent crowd, and I expect it's going to grow much more as the headliner takes the stage at 8:50 tonight. Now, right now, temperatures, we are sitting at about 23 degrees, and you touched on it. We did feel a little bit of humidity, feeling more like 25. We saw a daytime high of 24 degrees, and as I look towards the sky, the sun setting much quicker than what we're used to. So in about an hour, the sun will be going down. Overnight lows sitting at about 8 degrees. So a touch warmer than what we saw the last couple of days. So I'll take it. Still feeling like summer for tomorrow when we get to a daytime high of 23 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. And here's an idea of what the next couple of days are. Yes, there is a little bit of active weather moving through the Great Lakes, but it's really going to stick just north of Ottawa, moving into Quebec. So we're likely going to have clear skies, blue skies, and more sunshine as we get into our Thursday, and we extend this into our Friday as well. As we look towards tonight's lows, 9 degrees for here in Ottawa, about 9 degrees for Cornwall and Brockville, 11 degrees for Kingston, as well as Trenton. So a little touch warmer down by the water, but Bancroft sitting at 7 degrees, and Pembroke and Petawawa sitting at around 11. And that's quite the change from what we have seen the last couple of days, where just the other night, temperature overnight lows were about 3 degrees. As we look to tomorrow's highs, 24 degrees maintaining for pretty much all of eastern Ontario. A little bit of cloud cover, but for the most part, it's going to be very similar to what we saw today. Lots of sunshine, lots of vitamin D, which is how we like to see this. Now, across the country, temperatures sitting around the mid-teens for Halifax and Fredericton, 15 to 17 degrees. Here in Ontario, really along southern Ontario, 22, 23 degrees and sunshine. You can see the warm weather really pushing in from the Midwest. Now, the hot spots for the country, sitting in Regina and Saskatoon, 28, 29 degrees. With Calgary and Edmonton also sitting in the low 20s. Now, as we look towards our 7-day forecast, this is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Center. Join them at the 55 Plus show at the UI Center September 12th and 13th. Now, our Thursday and our Friday will both be 23 degrees a daytime high. We're going to still sit in those single lows or single digit lows for those 2 evenings, but then look at Saturday. Things are going to really warm up. 11 into our Saturday, 29 and cloudy, the daytime high. And yes, Sunday, we are likely going to get some rain. So if you're thinking about coming to City Folk, the festival, today's a good day. Tomorrow, even Friday, is going to be lovely. So get ready. Summer's still here to stay, at least for the next couple of days. Patricia.
Indigo Girls and Melissa Etheridge tomorrow. We're really looking forward to that one, for sure. Jackie, thanks for this. Coming up next, more weather talk. Will fall feel more like summer or winter? That in-between season that could go either way. We'll have those details after the break.
Tonight, a prominent conservative ally of Donald Trump is fatally shot at a public event.
You just hear the gunshot and I'm sorry.
What we are learning about the shocking shooting on a university campus. Later on CTV National News.
Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. It appears Ottawa Museum saw a boost in visitors over the summer. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with the details on this and other stories. Steph?
Patricia, not too surprising. The city saw a boost in tourism and definitely people would have visited some museums. Many residents and tourists taking advantage of the federal government's Canada Strong Pass. The pass provided free and discounted admission for young Canadians between June 20th and September 2nd. It helped contribute to a 13% increase in attendance at the Canadian Museum of Nature, a 12% increase in visitors at the Canadian Museum of History, and a nearly 4% increase at the National Gallery of Canada. Mazda is recalling thousands of vehicles in Canada because of an issue that increases the risk of crashing. The recall covers the 2024 and 2025 Mazda CX-90 and 2025 CX-70 models. Mazda says the vehicles may display the incorrect fuel level, meaning the vehicle could run out and stall, increasing the risk of a crash. Drivers will be notified by mail to schedule a maintenance appointment. Until then, they are advised to ensure they refuel before the gauge falls to a quarter of a tank. A warning to public transit users about some upcoming major service disruptions. OC Transpo says LRT Line 1 will be shut down all weekend for planned work on the East Extension. That's when a key performance test will be done for the new line, which will involve running trains between Tunney's Pasture and the new trim station. The East Extension is expected to open later this year. Replacement buses will be running on Saturday and Sunday. Well, weather experts are predicting that a dramatic start to Canada's fall weather will give way to warmer temperatures in the middle of the season. The season forecast calls for above normal temperatures and fewer storms from mid-September through October across much of Canada. They also say Canadians could be in for an abrupt transition to an early winter. Happy for all the winter enthusiasts when it does arrive, but sad for folks like you and I, Patricia, who tend to struggle during the cold winter months, if you will.
If it could only be summer forever, yeah, absolutely. Then we start to go to our silver linings, like longer canal season, more time to hibernate.
That's right.
All of that. We'll get through it. Certainly no sign that winter is anywhere close tonight. It looks like a beautiful summer evening at City Folk tonight at Lansdowne. I can't wait to get over there this evening, Jackie.
Yep, Patricia, the vibe is unreal right now, and I could only imagine as the crowds come in and the headline act is at 8:50, the vibe is just going to be even more amazing. Tell us more about this weekend. We have Mark Monahan here. You're behind Blues Fest, behind City Folk. Just talk to us about what we can look forward to for this weekend.
Well, tonight is Alex Warren coming off the VMAs. We've got some great acts coming up. Tomorrow night it's Melissa Etheridge, the Indigo Girls. We've got Morrissey on Friday night. We've got the Pogues and Dropkick Murphys on Saturday. And we close it out with Down with Webster on Sunday.
Lots of big names and even new artists. I was talking to some fans here. They came down very early because they wanted a good spot to see Alex Warren. And just the other night, he won Best New Artist at the VMA. So I love the acts that are coming through Ottawa here.
Yeah, no, it's a wide variety of acts, and it does lean more towards the UK. We've got, obviously, the Pogues and Morrissey and a band called Amble as well, who are a big up-and-coming band from Ireland. But it's something for everyone, really. And, I mean, the weather forecast is incredible. So.
And I love that you talked about the British acts, Irish acts. There's a little touch of home that was indicated. There's something new here that people are going to be surprised to see on festival grounds. Can you talk about that Thirsty Dog?
Yes, we've come up actually with an Irish pub idea called the Thirsty Dog. Art Hodgins, who started Paddy's Pub, loaned us some beautiful old bars from Brandy's, the Elephant and Castle, and all kinds of different bars that he's accumulated stuff from. And we put together an Irish pub here.
Yep.
Come out and enjoy some draft beer.
I love that. Thank you so much, and thanks for spending the time with us on opening night of City Folk Fest. We've got Tavari Anthony on stage right now, and then there'll be another act. We've got, who do we have? We have Paul Russell going on very shortly as well. So lots happening for this evening, and what a way to kick off City Folk.
Yeah, it looks like an absolutely spectacular night. Jackie, thank you so much.
First thing that you need to understand about any renovation is do you need a permit or not? And that should be the first question that you ask your contractor.
Well, coming up, we take a closer look at what you need to know to protect yourself before hiring someone to do work on your home. This after multiple complaints against one Ottawa contractor.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, CTV Morning Live, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, taking a closer look now at one of our top stories, multiple homeowners are raising concerns about work done by an Ottawa contractor. Some are out tens of thousands of dollars after they say the work was not done correctly. Others say the contractor did not get permits before starting work, and then the projects did not pass an inspection. So how can homeowners protect themselves against situations like this? It's a question that a lot of people, of course, ask themselves. And Ryan Branton is joining us now with some advice on that from Branton Construction Group. Yeah. You shared your expertise in the story with Caitlin. We appreciate you doing that. So what's the initial step in terms of trying to do the right thing and making sure you're protected? What would your advice be to homeowners?
The first thing that you need to understand about any renovation is do you need a permit or not? And that should be the first question that you ask your contractor.
A lot of people like to skip that stage.
They do, because it can speed things up a little bit, but in my experience, it's about 3 weeks, and it's certainly not worth it, because that permit is the protection from the homeowner, but it is also the responsibility of the homeowner to pull that permit, because it's attached to your house.
Obviously, there's a lot of good guys out there, great contractors, take pride in their work.
Yes.
And then there's the others. So when you're trying to do your research, what are you looking for to make sure you're getting one of the solid contractors?
That's a great question. You know, we hear it all the time, check reviews or call references, but that doesn't give you all the information that you need. What I always recommend, and I would encourage my clients to do, is call where I'm working right now. Call someone where my team is right now and see, how is it going? Am I leaving a clean environment? Am I coming in on budget? Am I respecting the schedule? You know, because all of those things can change. It's okay, right? Sometimes you find things and it makes it more expensive, and sometimes the schedule takes a little bit of time, like a little extra time, but it's communicating. Am I talking with my clients?
Yeah, and that's why we're often more comfortable when we get references from friends. You know that this person is going to do the job. What about handing money over? You hear stories about, I gave them $100,000, they hadn't done any work yet, and then they disappeared. When should you feel comfortable starting to pay up?
Right, so when you're looking at booking a contractor and you're signed that initial contract, there's no more than 10% needed. You're just making a mark in that contractor's schedule. But then, we're still at the phase or the time in being where the homeowners have to do their own homework, right? So you have to understand, how much money am I giving this contractor versus how much work has he done? It's very, very important, and you have to figure it out yourself. There's no right answer, but certainly when you sign that contract, no more than 10%.
Okay, the licensing situation very quickly. No licensing in the province. We know some cities do something. Right. Toronto, the rules are a little different from here, right? Yeah. But how much would that help if Ottawa had a system like that?
So I think that Ottawa should have a license for their general contractors. Now, plumbers, electricians, those people have their own kind of college and their own licensing system. But for general contractors, there's absolutely nothing in Ottawa. All you need is a truck, a little sign, and now you're a general contractor. So the city should be concerned about what's going on in their city.
Protecting your own house is one of the most important things you can do, for sure. Ryan, thank you very much for the time and advice today.
Thanks for being here.
And we have extended coverage of complaints against an Ottawa contractor, as outlined in Caitlin's story earlier, and details on how homeowners can protect themselves. You can find those stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Signs for a flare-up usually is the persistent wheezing, so there's like a rattling noise when they're breathing.
Well, just ahead, why do asthma attacks increase for kids in September? We'll explain after the break and share details on how you can prevent them.
CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video uploaded at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
What's called the September spike, a jump in asthma attacks as kids go back to school. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan explains why it happens and shares ways to reduce the risk.
7-year-old Benji was diagnosed with asthma as a baby, and his mom says back to school is definitely a time when he gets more problems.
There's exposure to other children who are sick, and he gets sick easily, and when he gets sick, it leads to more asthma attacks for him.
And the Lung Health Foundation says there are other reasons for the September spike, too.
There's more ragweed pollen, weather changes, and indoor factors such as dust.
During the summer, Benji takes a break from his asthma medications.
The main puffer, and in these, there's medicine. There's lots of different medicines that go in.
And in September, his family reviews his asthma plan with his doctor.
The need to talk to his pediatrician about whether to start the medication again or not.
And his school.
So the school is very much aware that he has asthma. And then if he is having a difficult episode, we send his inhaler to school with instructions for his teachers.
Signs for a flare-up usually is the persistent wheezing. So there's like a rattling noise when they're breathing. They have difficulty speaking in full sentences. Sometimes they have difficulty sleeping at night, so they're waking up a lot.
As well as sharing your asthma plan, it's a good idea to make sure all your child's vaccinations are up to date.
I could do monkey bars. I could almost skip a ball, but I can't yet.
So kids like Benji can have a healthy and successful school year. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Well, coming up, the OPP gets set to share this year's calendar featuring the stars of the K-9 unit. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. It's a little bit of a break here on the stage, so I wanted to talk to Charlotte. Drove out from Montreal with her family. You had time to take around the city, take a look around the city.
Yeah, we arrived yesterday and we went to the Museum of Nature and we went to the Parliament and we did a little tour. It was nice.
And now we're kicking things off at City Folk. Who are you here to see and why?
Alex Warren, because we missed him at Osheaga a month ago. We really wanted to see him, so that's why we drove here.
Okay, well, have a great time. And here's a live look. There's a Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The sun slowly setting on downtown Ottawa, but the party is just beginning at Lansdowne Park and the Great Lawn.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
They're good in front of the schools because it is a safety concern. I don't think they need to be everywhere because it is a bit of a cash grab.
Questions about what could happen to the city's speed cameras after Premier Ford told municipalities to get rid of them.
If you did the math on how many hours councillors put into their work, they're terribly underpaid.
City councillors and the mayor could get a pay raise after the next municipal election, with staff exploring how their salaries compare to elected officials in other big cities.
A beautiful 5,400 square foot home that's going to be the source for so much good in our community as people help us with the Dream of a Lifetime lottery this year.
It is big and it's beautiful. We get a look inside the Minto Dream Home, the grand prize in the CHEO Dream of a Lifetime lottery. And final check on the weather. How does it look overnight and into tomorrow morning, Jackie?
Yeah, we're getting into single digits, Patricia, about 8-9 degrees for the overnight lows. But then as you head out the door when the sun is shining, 11 degrees is what we're going to start with. And then we're going to get into a daytime high of 23 degrees. So another gorgeous day expected in the capital. And another excuse to head out here to City Folk Festival at Lansdowne and the Great Lawn. So the crowds are starting to make their way. It's getting a lot more busier. Very much everyone looking forward to Alex Warren hitting the stage. We'll take it back to you in studio.
Can't wait, Jackie. Thank you. And time now to check in to see what our news team will be working on tonight. Stefan Keys is on the desk this evening.
Patricia, we do have some breaking news developments to bring you. The deadly shooting of a conservative activist in Utah. The FBI has just released a statement saying they have a suspect in custody and thanked local and state authorities. We are expecting more updates later, so National News will certainly be keeping an eye on that. We will be as well. And we'll also follow this story out of Toronto's International Film Festival, where many Ottawa professionals in the movie and TV biz have been. But even there, political and social views have led to protests today. Demonstrators crowded the streets around Roy Thompson Hall this afternoon ahead of the screening of a film that has been at the center of controversy. It is a documentary about the Hamas terror attack on Israel on October 7th, 2023. And at one point, it was even pulled from the festival before being put back. We'll have details about that and much more tonight at 11:30.
All right, Steph, thank you very much. Finally for us tonight, something that is not controversial at all. Everyone can agree on. This is awesome. Four-legged members of the Ontario Provincial Police preparing for a big reveal. This weekend, the OPP is gearing up to launch the 2026 K-9 Unit Calendar, an annual project that highlights the amazing work of their K-9 teams. Look how cute they are. The initiative raises funds for the OPP Youth Foundation and the Friends of the OPP Museum. The calendar goes on sale this Saturday, and this year's stuff actually marks 6 decades of service by the OPP K-9 unit. Okay, so their dogs don't sit perfectly for photos either.
No, not
like
always.
ours.
Some of them are still in training.
Yeah, there you go. And the kids are enjoying that. That's a calendar I wouldn't mind having.
And what a
in my
milestone,
home.
6 decades.
Yeah, very awesome. All right, that is it for us tonight. I hope you have a great evening. I hope you can join Steph at 11:30. We'll see you tomorrow.